Hold on, shut it down. Can you guys just confirm for me if you can hear me and if also you can hear my screen, please? Sorry, can you guys confirm for me if you can hear me and if you can see my screen? You should be seeing the weekly chart on Nasdaq. Weekly chart on Nasdaq. If you guys, if you can just confirm for me if you can see my screen and also if you can hear me. Okay, great. Okay, guys, let's get it started. What are we looking at today? We're looking at Nasdaq, right? We're looking at Nasdaq, and we just want to see what the market is going to do. Oh, Sorry, we're just gonna see what the market's going to do um, during our opening end at 9:30, right? My bias is still bullish on this thing. I still think we are going up. Okay, I'll share with you guys just now why I think so. As the market was going down, as we discussed yesterday, the market went down, disrespected all the arrays on the lower time frame, and actually paid attention to this bullish order block, which is on the higher time frame, which so happens to be the weekly chart, right? So on this weekly chart, if you can notice, I was looking at this thing earlier and see how nice and precise it hit our main threshold, which is the 50% of this order block, right? Main threshold, 50% of the order block on the weekly chart. Price gave us a nice reaction. This is a possible what? This is a possible low of the week, right? Remember, remember we always say it's always time then price. Okay, it's always time then price. At this point, our power of three on the weekly candlestick, which is this red candlestick, the one that's forming now. Our power of three is price opened at the top, gave us a manipulation. This is what I'm thinking. Gave us a manipulation to the downside, bouncing on the main threshold of this bullish order block, right? Bullish order block on the weekly chart. Okay, we go down on the daily, and this happened on Tuesday, right? Tuesday is where we are most likely going to have a manipulation, which is price trading to the opposite direction than the actual intended direction. Again, that's basically how this thing works, right? So that's what we have on the daily chart. Sorry, on the weekly, on the that was on the weekly. On the daily, we have this order block over here. We closed right. Where did we close on this? Yes, the order block we closed right at CE on the daily chart as well. Price couldn't close below CE, so this is another bullish sign. Then we go down to the 15 minutes time frame. So this would then become our low of the week. This is what I'm thinking. This is a possible what? This is a possible low of the week that we're looking at over here, right? And then price basically shot back up, basically started consolidating for the remaining evening, which this was tomorrow, right? This was yesterday, sorry. And then today, price opened, consolidated, and then it started shooting up instantly. Didn't even retrace to the or manipulate to the downside. Just opened, shot up, and what I'm currently looking at on this thing is that we have these clean equal highs over here. This is my ultimate target. This is the ultimate drawn liquidity, right? This is my ultimate drawn liquidity. However, we have this one here first. We have this one first. But then we also have these bearish order blocks over here, which is this one, which is this one. Not order block, sorry, fair value gap. I think I saw a cleaner one on H1. Yes, that's the one. This fair value gap on H1. Okay. Now, here's the thing. This is a CB, right? Sell side imbalance, buy side inefficiency, which means price, if we're on a bearish market, price is supposed to hit this level and continue going down. However, if this thing is as bullish as we think it is, what we want to see is we want to see this fair value, the H1 being violated. After being violated, we want to see it being used as a what? As an inversion fair value gap. So we want to see this fair value gap price shooting up above this fair value gap, close above, and then come back and retest this as an inversion fair value gap to continue going up to take out this buy side liquidity, balance this imbalance over here, and ultimately take out this buy side liquidity at the top there. Okay, so this is what I'm going into the market looking at for today. Okay, we also have this fair value gap on the weekly on the 4 hour chart. We also have this fair value gap on the 4 hour chart. This is another fair value gap I would like to see being treated as a inversion fair value gap, meaning they just go past this fair value gap and not respect it, come back and test it as an inversion fair value gap, so the price ultimately shoots up to take out buy side liquidity, buy side, and buy side at the top over here. Okay, so as I'm going into the market right now, this is what I'm looking at. These are the levels that I'm currently looking at. Okay, now I want to see how price is going to react at specific times, where stop hunts are going to happen, how they're going to happen, and then we'll basically take it from there to see how we are basically going to be trading this market for the day. Okay, this is what I'm currently looking at for the day. These are the important levels that I'm currently looking at. These are the important levels that I'm currently looking at. So right now, okay, we'll have a look at S&P 500. Let's look at S&P 500. They move in the same direction. Okay, let's look at S&P. Remember yesterday what I told you about S&P. I wanted to see S&P coming further down to this level right here, but clearly it failed to do that. So which means S&P 500 is more bullish than Nasdaq at this point. Okay, cool. We have these lows over here. We have these lows, which is last week Thursday's lows. Price failed to take those out, and then basically started moving the opposite direction on S&P 500. This is a this is a sign that S&P 500 is much more bullish than Nasdaq. Okay, but essentially that's what we're looking for on in both cases, right? Let's go on the 4 hour. So if you have a look at this is what I was talking about on the previous one. This fair value gap over here. This fair value gap over here. You guys can already see that this fair value gap was broken, right? It was broken, so I expect it to now act as an inversion fair value gap, meaning I want to see this thing possibly going down to this level and then continuing to go up. This is what I want to see. If this market is extremely bullish, as I think it is, I want to see it test this inversion fair value gap and continue going up, essentially. Okay. Let's see what the H4 has for us. Yes, it has already broken this fair value gap on H4, right? This has already been broken. So I would like to see this being retested somewhere at these levels and then price continuing to basically go up to come take out the buy side liquidity at those levels. Okay. So that's what I'm looking at today on Nasdaq and S&P 500. So this this fair value gap has also been violated, which is this one. Price, you can see, just went straight through. I needed to come back a bit so we can continue going up. Okay, but let's see how price reacts 12, sorry, at 8:30 when the market opens. Let's see how the market reacts at 8:30 when it opens. I just want to label this as the H4 fair value gap so it doesn't confuse anyone. What happened there? Here we go. I don't want this thing to confuse us. Oh, We just had a stop hunt high, basically touching this H4 fair value gap here. Just brushed it a bit, brushed it just a bit. Okay, we brushed this just a bit. I'm also going to be interested in trading the silver bullets, which starts at 10. 10 is right here. I want to see also how the silver bullet trades goes. Okay, if we don't find a trade in between here, then I'd essentially look at taking a trade during my silver bullet. Okay, and you'll probably see how easier it is. How trading the silver bullet can be so much easier if you have your clear draw on liquidity. Okay, if you have a draw on liquidity, it becomes a bit more easier to trade your silver bullet. It's not the biggest moves, but it can be lucrative. Okay, so that's what I would be looking at. Right now, obviously, I'm not interested in trading until 8:30. Okay, from 8:30, I want to see what the market does in terms of a stop hunt. Is it going to give us a stop hunt at these levels and then maybe come down to take out sell side liquidity, or is it going to go past this fair value gap and then come back and act as an inversion fair value gap to ultimately continue up to take out buy side liquidity over here, and further up? Okay, that's what I'm currently looking at. Okay, so I just want to see exactly how price is going to react, and yeah, we'll take it from there. Essentially, I don't want to really see this fair value gap being respected. I want to see I want to see something of this sort. I'll show you now. I want to see something of this sort. Price comes up, disrespects this fair value gap at these levels, then comes like this, to retest it, and then continue going back up. This is what I would like to see. Okay, this is what I would like to see in this market. Simply because we're in a bullish market, we have a bearish fair value gap. If we're in a bullish market and we have bearish arrays, I expect to see those bearish arrays being disrespected. If I see those bearish arrays being disrespected, it means that I'm on the right side of the market. But if they keep respecting bearish arrays in a bullish market, it's not a really good sign for you to hold that trade. Okay, if you're on the trade, that is, or if you are still thinking that okay, we're going up, and you see bullish arrays being disrespect, are we going down and you see bullish arrays being disrespected, then you'd wanna maybe go into the trade if you were not in. Okay, so those are the things. Those are the little things you need to look at. These little arrays that keep getting broken. Oh, I'm tired. For some weird reason. So that's what I want to see now. We also have another fair value gap over here, but I will focus more on the higher time frame one, which is the H4. I'll focus more on the H4 before I can move to the lower time frame. So now, also, if we're bullish, then I wanna see how price is going to react. If it comes down, I wanna see how it's going to react over here. I wanna see how it's going to react over there. Okay, 3 minutes to market open. Let's see how the market reacts to this. If we're extremely bullish, I don't want to see these other blocks being broken. Okay. Okay. Stop hands low. Let's see how price reacts. Because at this point, at this current in this current moment, we just took out sell side liquidity down here. We haven't taken any buy side liquidity. This is 8:30 opening. So you see, this is the activity that usually happens at 8:30. Okay. So this is why in most cases I say to you guys, I don't really like participating before 8:30 because I don't wanna be in the market when this happens, right? I do not want to be in the market when these weird little stop hunts happen. I wanna be outside and just watching the market and anticipating what it's going to do. Okay. Once it starts coming back and moving normally, something like this is where you basically want to participate. And not when it does things like this. And this is the reason why, again, we don't trade things like your NFP, CPI, FOMC, because the market tends to do this, but worse. Okay. It tends to do this, but worse. What fundamentals do we have at, I think we had fundamentals at 3:15. No, it's a Wednesday. USD. Yeah, we had fundamentals at 3:15, but they did nothing. So now we'll wait for these zones. We'll wait for these. So this is what I mean. You don't want to find yourself, guys, and this is where your patience comes in. You don't want to find yourself participating in such a market. Okay, this is not a very nice, clean market to trade. And if you're a buyer here, you'd be frustrated. If you're a seller, you'd probably be frustrated simply because of what it's doing. It's spiking to this upside, spiking down, spikes up, spikes down. Okay, so you don't really want to find yourself in such situations. Okay, you don't want to find yourself in such situations. So let's wait. This would be our swing low. Now would be interested in what price does at this swing low. How does it react to this swing low over here, which is the one that was just created now. I'm interested to see how price is going to react over here. Not rushing to taking any trade. Just going to observe the market and see exactly what it does. Okay. We will wait for this guy to tip his hand to us and tell us exactly what he wants to do. So yeah. Okay, I want you guys to take a look at something. I don't really like this trade as it is. I wouldn't really take this trade as a sell. Um, you would say this big thing, this big spike is a shift in market structure. Then we have this better, this bearish fair value gap here. I wouldn't really take this trade as a valid trade for a sell setup over here. I wouldn't take this as a valid sell setup. Okay, I would not be comfortable taking this as a sell. I would not. So there's a fair value gap, but there's no clear switch in market because for this fair value gap to be created, the candlestick that creates the fair value gap is the one that's supposed to give you a shift in structure. Okay. So if you look at this thing, it spikes to the top, spikes to the bottom. If we had a fair value gap anywhere in between here for this candlestick price to come back and test it, then we would basically be taking this trade. But since this setup is happening in here, in between this weird little spike, you wouldn't really want to sell this thing. Okay. You wouldn't want to sell this thing. You just look at it as an invalid setup. Okay. I look at it as an invalid setup. And as you can see, what price is currently doing, it's not respecting that setup. Okay. It's not respecting it. So these are the little weird, frustrating things that you guys would face at times simply because of maybe some rules that you probably do not understand. So let's have a look at NQ. Not NQ, sorry. Let's have a look at ES. Right? Have a look at ES. Okay. What do we have here? Yes. Remember now. This one has already broken this fair value gap on the H. Is it on the H4? I think it's on the H4. Yes, it has already broken it. I'd like to see it come back to test this inversion fair value gap before it goes up. Okay. I would like to see it test this inversion fair value gap before it goes up. Before it goes, or continues going up rather. Taking out buy side liquidity over here and over here. This is what I'm waiting for. Okay. Another thing that we might want to check would be our dollar index. Remember, in most cases, this is supposed to be inversely correlated. So if you see dollar index going down, you need to see ES going up. Okay, let's have a look at the dollar index. But it's not always the case. It's like 98%, 90 to 95% rather, the case when it comes to GBP USD and Euro USD. Those two, usually they respect it. Okay, they are almost, so if you understand where the dollar index, in most cases you essentially understand where EU and GU are heading. You just need to see which one is a better setup between GU and EU. Okay. So with that being said, let's see. Monday. This one is not so clear. Okay. I'm still bearish on this thing. Remember the last analysis we had was that I'm looking for bearish movements simply because of the price has tested this fair value gap over here and respected it nicely. This is on the higher time frame. So I want price to basically go down and take out the sell side liquidity. Okay, but I'm still waiting, and obviously that's the high time frame, so it's gonna take a bit of time. Okay, it's going to take a bit of time. And if anything, this is a I would say this is a breaker block. So price can test this and continue going up. So price can essentially test this level and continue going up to take this buy side. So I'll have to essentially wait and see what price does in this one. In this case. And we are also at a bullish order block over here, which is this one. So here I'm not so sure. I would be comfortable trading, or I would confirm that the dollar, because I don't trade the dollar index, I would confirm that the dollar index is bearish should we break this order block and start trading below these levels. Should we trade below these levels? Should we trade below these levels, which is this bullish order block? If price shoots down and breaks this market structure, then I would consider the DXY being bearish. But for now, the DXY is still bullish according to my analysis. That's just how I currently see it. I still think we're bullish, and we just need to approach that with extreme caution as well. This is the fair value gap I was talking about, saying I do not want to see this being respected. So now I would be happy also to see it being used as an inversion fair value gap, as price did, broke it, came back over here, inversion fair value gap, and it's continued to go up. Right? I'd like to see it go up, take out this buy side liquidity, and ultimately break this. Is it H4 fair value gap? That's basically what I want to see on this. But right now, there's not much also we'll be able to do until 9:30. Okay. So in the next 20 minutes, there's really not much we can do. Okay. So you guys can watch the market and let's see how it basically behaves. Okay. Let's give it 20 minutes. I'll mute myself, and yeah, you guys can just watch price at 8:30, which is going to be 4:30 our time. We will then observe the market again and see what it's doing. Okay, because we will not be taking any trade until then, until 9:30, and probably look for a silver bullet setup if it gives us one. So yeah, give me a couple of minutes. Um, Sorry about that. Yeah, but as I was saying, you see this family gap, this one I was saying, I would not look at this as a sell setup. Look what it did. Came and reacted on it and then pumped up to come take out buy side liquidity. I would still like to see price breaking these levels and continuing going up. But let's see how price reacts. Because you see what 830 did today. Basically took sell side liquidity over these levels, right? So we do know now that sell side liquidity has been taken. But price has also hasn't given us a very clear setup in terms of wanting to continue going up during this session. Okay. So for now we're still waiting and watching the market and we want to see how 830 at this point we're actually waiting for 930. So sifuna ukubona ukuthi 930, what does it have for us? And then we will take it from there. That's what's going to determine where we're going in terms of this direction. Because you would look at this and say, yeah, it broke market structure over here. You see this? You can look at it and say, this red candlestick broke structure over here, left this gap, and this one came to test it to continue going up. Yeah, you could say that, but this is not really a setup that I would really favor. Okay, it's not a setup I would favor. Again, simply because there's not a lot going on here. It's it's not a very clean market. Like it's a dirty consolidation. So I don't want to find myself trading this. Okay, so I wait. Like I always tell you guys, if we have situations like this, we wait until price tips its hand and gives us exactly what they wanted to give us. And at this point, what I do see is that we have this buy side liquidity over here. Let's see how price reacts at this high. Okay. Let's see if we get a nice clean setup today that we can take it and be proud of. Okay. We've broken this high. We are currently trading this dotted line here is the CE. See how nicely price reacted there. The dotted line is the CE of that H4 family gap. See how nicely price reacted at that level? But I want to see it broken to the upside so that I can be sure that the price is basically bullish. Okay. That's essentially what I want to see. You see, the thing is, this is not the cleanest price action, guys. This is not the cleanest price action. It's not like nice and clean that you know, you can be confident to go long or whatever, or participate in such. It's not clean. Okay. When price starts giving you clean price action, you'll see how easy your trading is going to be. When you start having clean price action, you'll see how easy it's going to be. So for now, again, we wait. So you see what I was saying? You can literally get in the market at what time did we go live? 3, right? We've been live for about an hour, right? And you'll find your setups in between those times, between 3 and probably 5 to 6, depending. You will find a good setup. So it's 9 right now, 9 a.m. New York time, 4 p.m. our time. So let's say between 3 and 6, those 3 hours. That's all the trading you need basically. You don't even have to trade the afternoon session. You can trade the afternoon session. Like for instance, let's look at yesterday. Yesterday, if you attended yesterday's session, eh, eh, oh, Nyla. You see, I want to show you something. I want to show you yesterday's price action. You see, this is yesterday's price action. And there's consolidation over here. This consolidation. This consolidation over here is where I got out. Remember, this is where I closed my trades over here. Price yes continued going down during the New York session. Sorry, between the during the lunch session and created the low of the day. But you don't need to be participating in this if that's not the time you most likely going to be trading, because over here I think this was the setup you could have taken and price could have given you something. But as I said, we were not participating in this simply because this was the afternoon session. I think I last traded here, around here, somewhere in here was when I basically stopped trading. This was lunch. This was after lunch. Okay. So you can still find the setups after lunch. I just prefer not to. Okay. For obvious reasons, right? For obvious reasons that we've already discussed. So again, we are looking at what we are looking at, but what was this? I don't remember what this line was for. This was to show you guys that sell side liquidity has been taken here and here. So this took sell side liquidity over here, 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 and here. This was the spike over here. And then it just basically went back into the range and started consolidating. Okay. So you see why I'm saying you don't want to be trading. This thing is in a consolidating market, guys. You don't want to be trading this thing. It is going to give you clearer setups as the day goes. But also remember that this is what is this? This is NFP week, yes. This is NFP week. So we are most likely going to experience things like this, okay? Where we find a more of a consolidating market than anything. So if we start seeing things like this, you're not really surprised, okay? But I mean, it might still open up. That's why we need to wait for 9:30 till 11. If we don't get anything clear till around 11 a.m. New York time, then we're not trading. So it wasn't. Yep, it's a very consolidating market. because this is the 1 minute chart. So if you can even go up to 3 minutes, you'll see that there's really nothing much happening in here, guys. Né? Really nothing much happening. So you don't have to, like, for instance, you see this trade I was telling you guys about here. You see this trade. I would say maybe you might look at this as another setup, but after price shoots up and breaks market structure here, it needs to basically come back and then continue going up again. But if it does this, you are basically, it's not doing anything. So you would be in this trade stuck for nothing, like for really no good reason, right? Which is why I'm saying waiting is for price to give you a clearer setup is much better than wanting to be a part of every move. It would be nice being a part of this move if it was um, a profitable move. I mean, you could have made a couple of dollars here, but at what cost? Drains your mental your mental capital. Yes, it drains your mental capital, and you really want to protect your mental capital at all cost. And this is how you protect it. You protect it by making sure that you participate in a market that wants you to participate in. Okay, this is not a market that's very inviting to people, or to me rather. So that's why I say in such a market, I would rather wait and see what it does at specific times where I know that there's going to be liquidity. I know there's going to be liquidity being injected in the market at 9:30. So I have to wait for that market for that liquidity injection, and it's probably going to give us a stop hunt somewhere at this point because it's a few minutes from now. At this point, it might even give us a stop hunt here and continue going up. We don't know. So we wait and see what price is going to do. And then after it tips its hand, I always say, it's gonna say, hello, this is where I wanna go. And then you trade in line with what it's doing at that particular time. You do not participate just because it's 8:30 doesn't necessarily mean that you need to be participating in the market. It means that this is the period where you basically want to start looking for possible setups. You know what I'm saying? And if it doesn't give you a setup today, tough. You'll get a setup tomorrow. If it doesn't give you one tomorrow, you'll get one on Friday. But this week, because it's an unfarm payroll week, we will not be trading tomorrow and Friday. So this session is going to be the last. This is going to be the last trading session that you're going to have. Obviously, you guys will still be watching the market, and then we'll come back again on Monday, Tuesday next week, depending on what the market has for us then. Monday, Tuesday next week, you come back, depending on what the market has for us then. Okay. So again, guys, we simply just watch, and uh, I'm busy with a bit of work here on my side. There's something else that I'm looking at. You see, if this thing breaks this 4 hour chart nicely like this, I would be happy. If this family gap gets broken or violated like this on the 4 hour chart, I would be happy because this would mean the price is telling me that it's bullish. So this would then be acting as an inversion fair value gap, where I would then want to participate in buying this market to come take out buy side here, here, and here. Okay. Yes, and this is exactly what I want to see, guys. This is what I was talking about. This is why I want to see this being an inversion fair value gap because I'm overall bullish on this thing. So if there's an if there's a fair value gap like this, if there's a fair value gap like this, that's supposed to take price to the downside and it's being violated. That's just proving to me that price is heavily bullish or being heavily distributed to the upside and bearish arrays are failing to hold. Okay, so if that happens, then my bias for going long is strongly supported. Then I go in the lower time frame and start looking for setups. Okay, so as you can see, price is constantly pushing up slowly. Yes, this is what we call a low resistance liquidity, right? It's not pushing to the upside very quick, but I mean it's going up. It's high resistance, rather, right? But it's pushing up. So I want to see price pushing up slowly, slowly, up until it closes above this gray area. Okay, up until it closes above that gray area, then I'll be happy. Let's see, it's 9:30 soon. I want to see if we actually target these lows. I want to see if we actually target these lows. Sorry. Yeah, I hope you can hear me now. But I was saying, as you can see, price is already trading and playing above this level. So it's playing in the second half of this higher time frame fair value gap, right? And since price is already playing above these levels, I want to see it close at these levels here. I want to see price close around these levels. If price closes above these levels, we'll jump to H4 to confirm if we've violated the fair value gap on the H4. And then we will then consider this whole level as an inversion fair value gap on the 4-hour chart. Okay. And then we will trade in this area with that regard of price being basically bullish. It's 2 minutes to 9:30, so let's just see what price is doing. I see Kevin ICT says to look for liquidity before 8:30. What do you do if 8:30 is already pushing your highs? Do you just keep looking for the light? Do you just keep looking to the light for highs? I'm not so sure what you mean by that. ICT says to look for liquidity before 8:30. Yes, you have to look for liquidity before 8:30, right? You have to know where your liquidity is. So if you're looking for, let's say for instance, you are looking to buy, right? You think market is gonna basically go up. It's a bullish day, right? If you think you're going to be having a bullish day, then chances are you're going to have sell side liquidity that needs to be taken. So chances are at 8:30 at opening, because we usually have a stop hunt there. Price is going to give you a stop hunt to the downside, take out that sell side liquidity, give you an entry or give you a setup to go up and take out that um, buy side liquidity that you're looking for. But if it doesn't do that, then you basically need to wait. Like today, for instance, like what's happening today, right? This is our 8:30 opening. Price took sell side liquidity. But after that, it didn't really give us a clean setup for us to be confident to say, okay, price is basically going to be going up. Okay, so we wait, and this is exactly what I wanted to see, right? This is exactly what I wanted to see. I wanted to see this fair value gap on the H4 being violated like this, because now this tells me that the market is heavily bullish and it's disrespecting what these bullish arrays, which is what this fair value gap on the higher time frame, which is the H4. So now I want to see this fair value gap act as an inversion fair value gap, so we can be possibly buy the market somewhere here. And this is now probably going to happen somewhere around 10 o'clock, okay, which is then going to be a possible silver bullet trade to come take out what? To come take out buy side liquidity over here. So still, right now, 9:30 has given us something that we basically want to see, but we still wait. We've taken out this, we've broken this level, right? We've broken this level, which is the fair value gap in the 4-hour chart. Let me delete this. Now I want to see this fair value gap acting as an inversion fair value, which is going to allow me to say price is most probably going to go up and do what? And take out the buy side liquidity over here. This is now what I'm anticipating. I am now then anticipating that price is going to do something of this sort. Take out this buy side liquidity. So now I'm waiting for a clearer setup then to the upside, which is going to confirm for me that we are bullish. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? You're saying there's no audio. It's all good now. I'm not sure if this was before or after, but if you can't hear me, just let me know. So that's initially what I'm looking at for now. Okay, price has taken out these lows that we spoke about. Remember, these relatively equal lows. Price has cleared this level up. Okay, this is good at specific times. Now, let's wait and see what it's trying to do. Again, remember we have fundamentals at 5 p.m. Ne? We have fundamentals at 5 p.m. So you gotta be careful with those as well. Pay attention to that volume imbalance. Price has closed it. I'm good, my man. Good. Thanks. How are you? So price has closed that volume imbalance. So when you see these little gaps like this, price will most probably get drawn to it and why not close it? That's just what I was bringing your attention to. Okay. I want to see how price is going to close in this H4 fair value gap. I would really like to see it closing above here, but if it doesn't and closes below the CE, then we'll basically look at a setup that the market will give us. However, gun to my head, I would like to see this acting as an inversion, so it continues going up. Okay, but for now, as you guys can see, man, this is not a market that you really want to trade. There's too much consolidation happening. Okay, we have fundamentals in like 10 minutes, so you want to watch this and see how it behaves, basically. Okay, you want to see how it behaves, what its intentions are before you go in and start pulling the trigger on this thing. Okay, seems to be shifting to the downside instead. Let's see what it does. So if it does this, it would probably want to take out sell side liquidity here, here, and here. So let's see what it wants to do. Let this pay attention to this level. Okay, H4 fair value gap seems to be holding and rejecting, which is also fine. But now let's see how price reacts over here. Okay, I'm gonna go in as a sell here, and essentially, so I would want to put it down here, right? Because right now I don't want to see the market going all the way up there. Okay, I don't want to see the market going all the way up there. Yeah. At this point, I want to see price coming down to take out these relatively equal lows over here. Okay. But again, we have fundamentals in a few minutes. So I also don't like trading when there's fundamentals like this coming out. Uh, so I think this could be it for the day, guys. For my and I'm calling it a day. Well, it reversed before, could lock in some good profits there. Think, did we not close about $300 if I'm not mistaken? Let's check. Account summary. $325. I mean, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. I wanted to see take out this sell side liquidity, but I'm looking at the time. I'm looking at the fact that we have fundamentals coming out in the next few minutes. So I'd rather go out of this trade and observe from the side. But gun to my head at this point, since the market reacted like this, I would really love to see price coming down to take out the sell side liquidity. Okay, and it's doing it. It's doing it now. That's where my take profit was essentially. Let's wait a few more minutes. I'll close the session after 5. Let's see how it reacts now. Okay. Sorry. Oh no, but I think you can hear me. You guys should be able to hear me. Everything seems fine. But let's see what it does in the next 2 minutes. Really, if it takes out this sell side liquidity. So I just wanted you guys again. I wanted you guys to see my thought process as the market is moving, as I'm trading like this. This is what goes on in my head. These are the things that I look at, and this is how I basically look at the information that I'm busy sharing with you. Okay, this is how I'm looking at this information, and no. This is how I'm looking at this information. This is how I'm observing these things. This is how I'm essentially. This is my thought process. I'm looking at this and looking at that, looking at this and looking at that at the same time. Okay, I'm looking at a number of things at the same time. So it's 5 o'clock now. Let's see the reaction in the market. And our take profit has been taken, right? Sell side liquidity over here has been taken. This is just our low hanging fruit. Price could come for the sell side liquidity over here as well. Okay, could come for this sell side liquidity. And the reason why I took this trade as a sell, guys, as I was explaining, I initially thought that this inversion fair value gap was going to hold. But when I saw this rejection happening, market structure shift over here, and I explained this thing to you before I took the trade. Market structure shift over here. That's when I decided, okay, this means price doesn't want to continue going to the upside. It's actually respecting this higher time frame fair value gap and wants to continue going down to take out sell side liquidity. And this was my low hanging fruit over here. Okay, so this was my thought process as this trade was happening today. And with this being said, guys, I would be basically done trading for the day, and I will basically see it again next week, Monday, if this is the case. Yeah. So I hope you guys got something from this, and you you can basically go out and try to do it yourself. But remember, this is not financial advice. This is merely me just sharing what I do on a daily basis in the market, and should never be taken as financial advice, as it's not intended for such. Okay. With that being said, guys, we're not hosting a session tonight. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll just have a chat in the group there in the community, and yeah, see you guys. Good night. Good night. No, yeah, but it is.